All right, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, the weekend is here, and doesn't that look nice? Lake Lanier, lots of people already out. We see someone on a jet ski, I saw someone just pulling in on a boat. What a great day it would be for the lake. It's going to be a hot one, and it'll stay hot all weekend long. We do have first alerts for today and tomorrow because of the dangerously high heat that continues here for just about all of North Georgia, with the exception of our counties that are up in the Northeast Georgia mountains. So get ready for it. Make sure you're staying hydrated and cool this weekend. We're going to talk about that. And we also have to talk about higher rain chances, which will help cool us down. But some of that could be thanks to some tropical activity. Yes, it is that time of year. So we're going to take you through all of it. Just make sure you stick with us here. And of course, thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. All right, so last I checked, it felt close to 100 degrees in Atlanta. And as we head towards 12 o'clock, it's going to feel like 101 even in LJ, 104 in Rome, 103 in Atlanta. Area-wide today, it's going to feel anywhere between 103 to 107 degrees. Of course, with the hottest temperatures being felt around 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. So if you have any plans, maybe you're headed to the PGA golf tournament at East Lake Golf Club. It's going to be a scorcher out there, so make sure you're staying plenty hydrated. But if you want to stay in the AC, you can watch it right here on Atlanta News First, starting at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, we keep our first alert because, again, we have that heat advisory for just about all of the area that will go through Sunday night. So tomorrow, it'll feel anywhere between 100 to 105, maybe even 106 degrees in some spots. Now, tomorrow is kind of our transition day. So we are going to have a front move in, and that front is going to help increase our coverage of rain, not only tomorrow, but as we head into the start of the week, and then it'll ultimately start to cool down as that front kind of settles in and then eventually fizzles apart. So tomorrow will stay dry through the first half of the day, but as we head towards 3, 4 o'clock, storms start to bubble up ahead of our cold front. I will say we have an isolated storm chance today as well for the evening. Any storms both today and tomorrow that do fire up in the afternoon, just because we're going to have so much fuel in our atmosphere, we could maybe have an isolated strong to severe storm, a very summer-like severe storm with damaging wind, heavy rain, frequent lightning. And again, it's going to be very isolated. Nonetheless, we're still going to watch for that. Once we head past 4 o'clock, again, any activity that kind of bubbles up will be fair game to spark severe just because of how much fuel we're going to have with all that heat and humidity. But tomorrow evening, if you have any dinner plans with the family, just keep in mind you might want to keep an eye on the radar because it could be slightly active tomorrow night. Now, that first alert tomorrow is really for the heat. Monday, it's for the storms. Again, that front's going to stall over the area, kind of along I-85. That's kind of the dividing line for that front. And that's going to offer us a more widespread coverage of rain on Monday, really for the commute home. So as you're thinking about the work week, of course, maybe not today thinking about the work week, but tomorrow, just make sure that you pack that umbrella in your car because you might need it to leave work on Monday afternoon. Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday will keep rain chances, but Wednesday's rain chance could be because of something tropical, and there's a strong emphasis on could. It's looking more likely than not, or excuse me, it's looking less likely as the models come in that we are not going to have an impact from tropical weather. But still something we're going to be watching very carefully. So let's take you to the tropics, because I know that probably got a lot of your attention. So the Atlantic is very active right now. We have multiple disturbances, and we also have tropical, well, actually now Hurricane Franklin. That actually just came out a couple of minutes ago. So Hurricane Franklin. But nonetheless, that storm is going to ride along the Atlantic coast. It's going to parallel far enough away that it's not going to impact any of our coastal states. And then we have a medium chance of development on that center disturbance, low-end chance for that disturbance coming off the African coast. This is the one we're watching. So it's currently moving through kind of the straits between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. It is expected to move into the Gulf of Mexico, which is extremely warm. There's going to be nothing stopping this storm from getting organized as it moves into the Gulf. And notice its trajectory is headed towards the Big Bend of Florida, anywhere between, it looks like, Destin all the way down to Tampa, Florida. So something we'll be watching very carefully as we continue to get more information and the storm becomes more organized. The way I like to talk about stuff like this, when we have a disturbance that we're watching that isn't organized yet. Once it becomes a tropical depression, we'll get a forecast cone from the Hurricane Center. But when it doesn't have some sort of organized center, when it's very disorganized, models struggle to know where to start. So if you don't know where your starting line is, it's kind of hard to figure out how to get to the finish line, right? So that's why there's a lot of uncertainty right now. It's a very disorganized cluster of storms. But once it gets a little more organized, we'll have a better idea of where it's going to go. So let's take you through what the models are thinking. Now, the orange is the GFS, the American model. The green is the European model. I'll say off the bat, the European model has been more consistent run to run. The European model is also more in line with what most models are thinking is going to happen. The GFS is more of an outlier. So, and the GFS has been inconsistent. And it's also been starting to shift east, so it's starting to fall in line with the Euro. So it's looking more likely we'll have very minimal impact from what's more than likely going to be Tropical Storm Idalia in the coming days. But if right now the Euro plays out, storm's going to stay south, rain in South Georgia, maybe for parts of North Georgia. We're going to have a front kind of battling this, so our rain will be a combination of the front and maybe some outermost bands from this storm. Our severe weather will be pretty much slim to none, and it'll be breezy for us. Now, if the GFS plays out, then we're going to have higher rain, which means a higher flooding risk. We could have the potential for some severe weather. Obviously, it'll be a little breezier for us. But nonetheless, I do think that there is going to be more than likely very minimal impact for us, but we won't know until this storm starts to get better organized. Something we're going to be watching very carefully for you. But the GFS continues to kind of be an outlier, and it's starting to go in tune with the European model. So looking more and more likely that our impact will be minimal here at home from what more than likely, again, will be Tropical Storm Idalia. In the meantime, we are continuing on with this summer sizzle we've been stuck in. Upper 90s today. Again, it's going to feel anywhere between 104 to 107. Upper 90s again tomorrow, feeling more like 101 to 105. That front, that's going to bring us a higher coverage of rain tomorrow night, stalls, and will keep us unsettled for Monday. So it'll more than likely be a pretty rainy and stormy commute home on Monday. That is another first alert, just kind of giving you a heads up for the start of the week. That you'll need the umbrella and you'll need to probably pack your patience on the ride home. And then scattered storms continue Tuesday. We'll be watching the tropics on Wednesday. It'll be a combination of potential tropical moisture from a tropical system and a front. So Wednesday will kind of be an unsettled day, it seems like. Thursday, the rain chance will be totally dependent on if that tropical system moves through our area or if it moves off to the east. Further east it goes, the drier will be. But we are going to go back into the 80s Tuesday through Friday. So some relief from the heat is on the way, everybody. All right, I appreciate you spending some time with us. Stay tuned to the forecast as we go through the weekend, because with this invest we're watching that will ultimately be a tropical depression by sometime tonight or tomorrow morning, we're going to get more information in constantly. There'll be lots of updates, so you'll want to be staying tuned to the forecast. In the meantime, try and stay cool today, and we'll catch you here next time.